All right. Greetings, programs. Get your ass in here, but stay 6 feet from me. Welcome to another edition of the Antisocial Experiment. I am recording from Apartment 2 Studio somewhere deep in the heart of Rock City, New York. I am your humble friend narrator, Alan One. Sorry for not doing this show when I usually do it on a Tuesday, but obviously we all got other fish to fry right now. So you can find me on all the places. Excuse me, as I sniffle. Again, I don't have anything, at least not that I know of. Just really dry in here. But you can find me on email at luckymerciless1@gmail.com. And we are on Twitter at both Geeks from Apartment 2 and simply Us1. So let's start with Brother C. Obviously, he's not here. I'm actually recording this on a dreary Saturday morning, to be honest with you. And of course, Brother C's not here for the various obvious reasons. He's self-quarantining. Actually, to be honest, he's been self-quarantining along with him and his family, but he also, him and his SO, had a baby boy yesterday in the middle of all this shit. So congratulations to Brother C. Now, I asked permission to tell this story I'm about to tell you. I actually have two stories for you, and this is the first one. So I did ask Brother C for permission to tell this story I'm about to tell you right now. So yesterday morning, right around this time, Brother C called me, and when I picked up the phone, I was like, "Hey, what's up, Brother C?" And he's like, "You know why I'm calling you, right?" And I was like, "Oh shit, she had the baby, huh?" Well, she did. 10 pounds. I don't know how many ounces, but 10-pound baby. I was like, Jesus Christ, this woman had a whole goddamn turkey inside of her. It was funny because I saw them randomly on the street before she gave birth, and she was not happy. And now looking back, I was like, well, shit, if I had a 10-pound bowling ball inside my stomach, I wouldn't be happy either, goddammit. Y'all need to take this out of me. So, but yes, they have a healthy 10-pound baby boy whose name is Alistair. Now, when she told me this name, the first thing I thought was, what's up with you and these old-time fucking pirate names? All his kids have fucking old names. Now, I'm not going to tell him on mic. I'll let him tell me that. But he named his kid Alistair, which is the most sinister fucking name you can give a kid. And that wasn't even the original name. One of the names that they came up with was Remington. Remington. Now I'm like, dude, I ain't never met a Remington in my life. And the only Remington I know is Pierce Brosnan when he played Remington Steele when I was a fucking kid. Other than that, I don't know anybody named Remington. And Remington is one of those type of names, again, just like Alistair, where it's like, you're really trying to set this dude up to be like some sinister millionaire. Because you can't be a bus driver and be Remington. You can't be Remington the janitor. You can't be Remington the fucking sauteer. It's not gonna fucking work. This dude gotta have like all sorts of adventures. If your name is Remington, you gotta like amass a vast sum of fortune just traveling the world raiding tombs or some shit, man. You gotta be a spy or some shit. So, yes, his name is Alistair. And I was like, well, okay, they were trying to come up with a middle name. So off the top of my head programs, I said, well, shit, just call him Maxwell. And at first, Brother C was like, Alistair Maxwell sounds too strong. Now, as he says this, because he was in the same room with his SO. And his SO was like, actually kind of like that name. So for all I know, I helped name this kid Alistair Maxwell, which sounds so much like a villain in a Bond flick. Like, this is Alistair Maxwell. He's trying to control the world's satellites for some dumbass reason. And he's played by Malcolm McDowell of all people. Oh man. But that's his name is Alistair. Not sure if they're gonna stick with Maxwell. I hope they do. I hope they do, because every time I look at this kid from now on, I'll be like, I hope named you. I hope get you on the path, Padawan. That's a kid that's a kid that's definitely going to the dark side. This dude is gonna kill all the kids Jedi's when he gets older. All of them. Oh man. So again, congratulations to them on their fourth child. I mean, Jesus Christ, what? You trying to fucking start a band or some shit? You better get these kids some goddamn instruments and have them sing you a nice house someday. Something, man. All these damn kids, I'd have been lost my mind. I can't even imagine having to self quarantine with your asshole, three kids, and your mother in law. They're all in the house right now. This is like a goddamn sitcom. Like that version of Family Matters. Nobody asked for it. Nobody asked for a remake of this shit. And why are you playing Carl Winslow, brother? See, nobody asked for this. What? And I'm not playing Urkel. You can fuck off with that shit. I'm not doing that. I got the glasses for it. Doesn't mean I'm going to be Urkel. Sorry. Anyways, what's going on with y'all? Hope y'all guys are doing good, at least health wise. Financially and mentally. That's a whole different story. You know, but you guys are starting to go a little stir crazy. Got a little bit of that cabin fever. Starting to see things that ain't really there. You're starting to play The Shining with all this shit. I'm starting to keep jars of urine in your fucking place. Like, that's weird. Don't do that. Don't let it get that bad. I come to your fucking house after all this shit is done. There's like jars of urine stored for no good reason. I will judge you. I will judge you and say you need help. You need some real fucking help right now. Uh, so I decided to put this picture up that I took. This Tuesday. This picture that you're looking at is East Ave here in the Rock. Now, if you don't know the Rock that well, or East Ave is a very fucking busy street. And on any other day, I took this picture like 9 o'clock in the morning. At 9 o'clock in the morning, there's hustle and bustle going on. There's a lot of places, a lot of stores on East Ave, a lot of bars, a coffee shop. There's a movie theater. There's various restaurants. There's a tattoo parlor, right? All that shit was shut the fuck down. There was nothing to be seen or heard of, and I was maybe one of five people on that street that day. It was very, very eerie to walk through that shit. That shit looked like fucking Escape from New York. You know what I mean? It looked like where was fucking Kurt Russell when you needed him right now? I need Kurt Russell in a fucking eye patch and a goddamn leather trench just walking through this shit with me like, this is worse than I thought it was. Like, yeah, you think, Snake? Yeah, it's bad. But hey, shit, you rescued one president, and then the second one you rescued the president's daughter. You got this. We got this. See, you got the guns, right? You walking up here. You know hand-to-hand combat. You a fucking war hero. I'm not fighting nobody out here. Like, nah, man, I'm standing right behind you. Like, you got this, Snake. Come on now. We got things to do. We gotta get back home. But that's what it looks like right now. It really didn't dawn on me, programs, until 2 days before that day. I was walking down the street, stupidly. I'm sure everybody's like, why the fuck are you walking anywhere right now? Like, you can go outside. The government said you had to stay in your house 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can go outside, just don't be around people. That's all. You can have walks and take your bike out for a ride or get in your car and, drive around. You ain't got to be in your house all day, right? So as I'm walking down the street and I see just how deserted my street looks, it finally dawned on me. Like, oh shit, we're in the fucking snap right now. This is what the snap would be like in real life. It's like Thanos really did come down and snapped and had an Infinity Gauntlet on, snapped his motherfucking fingers, And this is what we get now. There's nothing going on. Have you seen like drone footage of major metropolises like LA or San Francisco empty? Actually, I have some people down in New York City, and one of them put a picture of Times Square as it looks right now. That shit looks like the first reel of Vanilla Sky. It looks like Tom Cruise should be running down the goddamn street screaming for no goddamn reason. That's what this looks like right now. It is eerie. It is eerie. I get since this whole thing's happened. I've been trying to, as best I can to try to understand what COVID-19 is and what this means, and I still can't make heads or tails out of this shit. Because I'm like, okay, so let me get this straight. So I could get it and not know I have it unless I get sick. But I could transmit this virus to somebody else that's in close contact, and heaven forbid they old. This is what this is, like a super flu that I don't even know I have? What? What's that even mean? As a matter of fact, when I was in the store that day, this old man, I was in line, this old man came up, and he was dangerously close to me, trying to talk to me. And I ain't really want to be rude, but at the same time, like, I ain't trying to, if I have this, I ain't trying to get you sick. So like, no, 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 no. Get your monkey ass to the back and stay 6 feet away from me. Do you not know what's going on right now? Old man. Like, we're in the middle of a fucking pandemic where you, yes, you, are the target. It ain't about me. Not much, you know. I don't have pre-existing conditions. It ain't about me right now. It's about you. You are the target. All right? Oh, man. I don't know what the hell is going on with all this shit. This is some weird shit going on right now. Weird for me and weird for you and weird for everybody else out here right now. So, you guys are getting ready for that sweet fat check the fucking government's trying to get you? Get the fuck out of here. I'm surprised they even passed this fucking bill. Because most of the time, the government can't even decide what they want for lunch. Much less they're gonna give me $1,200, and because I'm on unemployment because I got knocked out of work, you're gonna give me $600 on top of what I'm already getting. Alright, what's the catch? It's always a catch to this shit. Nobody just gives you money for no reason. They want something, right? So what do you want, government? You're gonna give me all this fucking money to sit at home and do the same bullshit I was doing even before all this happened? What's the catch? Watch they come to you like with a dress and knee pads, like put this on, like, see, I knew it. Knew you wanted something. You wasn't just gonna give me money without you gonna wine and dine me and not expect something in return. What do you want? You want me to tickle the balls a little bit, huh? Want me to get sloppy with your dick a little bit, government? That what you want? Fuck, man. I'll believe it when I see it. I really do. I'll believe it when this golden check from this magical fairy just somehow happens to be put in my mailbox in a couple of weeks. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I wake up one morning and there's way more money in my fucking account than there should be. Like, alright. And even then, like, okay, they're gonna give you all this money, but you can't really go anywhere. You can't really do it too much with it except for the basics. That's why I want to tell people out there, if you do get this money, do the right thing with this shit. Right? Don't be out here trying to ball out of control. That's not what this is. I better not see nobody out here with a fucking gold chain. Like, you spent your fucking money on a gold chain right now when you could have bought food or paid bills. That's what this money was for. Not for you to, not for you to stunt. That's not what this is about. You can stunt later. You gotta be smart right now. And again, I believe it when I see it, man. You know, it's not like this is not the first time they actually did give us a check. I remember way, way back in the day, like Bush gave us a check for some bullshit. I was just like, all right, well, all right, that's cool. But I believe it when I see it. If you're gonna give me $1,200 to do the exact same shit I've been doing before, I'd be like, I got it. Oh, and I don't have to talk to anybody. Got it. Cool. So sit here on this motherfucking couch. I've been self quarantined for the last 2 weeks. So this is like a Wednesday for me. I was telling people, I was telling see this the other day, as in the household. And I'm like, nigga, I'm fine. I worked at a college campus for 11 years. Now, 10 of those years, I didn't have a job from May to July. And the only difference between then and now is that I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Now, for 5 of those 10 summers, I was with someone. So, unfortunately, running gag time, shout out to you. Hope she's doing well. She had to pick up the slack a little bit. I will give her credit on that. I mean, even if she didn't like doing that, she never got in my face about it. I'll always give her credit for that. But for the other half of those 10 summers, I was by myself. So I had to plan accordingly. So what I would do is I would take my tax money, I would spend half of it, and I would save half of it. And I would just build off of that. So by the time I got to May, hopefully, I would have close to a grand. Now, before you guys say, well, how is a grand going to help you? Let me explain something now, okay? I don't live the American dream at all, okay? I don't have a wife. I don't have kids. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have a car. I have all of my bills. I have rent, which is dirt cheap because nobody wants to live where I live. Um, my light bill, my phone bill, my insurance, and internet. Those are 5 major bills. And then after that, your essentials, your food. But like I work in a restaurant. I just eat from there, you know what I mean? Most of the time. At least, at least back a couple weeks ago. That's it. That's all I have. And then I would take that and I would, take that $1,000, pay rent with that, and I would just live off unemployment. This is a summer that I didn't ask for. A summer vacation that nobody asked for. But that's what we're doing right now. You know, if anything, I'd be sitting here playing a show right now, but I don't have the show. At least not this year's. I had last year's. But I don't know if I can play it because I don't have PlayStation Plus. I think it's kind of run through that. But I don't know. I don't know how that works. No, that I care at this point. But other than that, I've been sitting here doing the exact same shit I've been doing this whole fucking time. Like, for example, reading books. Read a few things over since the last time I talked to y'all, right? Let's start with I finished Criminal. This limited run of Criminal. I've been talking about this book for quite some time. This comic book by Ed Brubaker for quite some time. One of my favorite crime stories. Great book. You guys ain't got. You guys like comic books? You got all the time right now. If you can find it on Amazon or something like that, go out there and get it. Great story. Great story. I also read the second volume of Gotham Central, which, in my mind, is what the show Gotham should have fucking been. Is that bullshit they tried to give us a couple years back? It's basically about the GCPD, the Gotham City Police Department, and it's like Law and Order with Batman. It's really what it is, because these guys and gals solve crimes that Batman just can't get to, because Batman can't do all this. He needs help, and so that's where the GCPD comes in. It's a cool story. And if you've seen Birds of Prey, then you know who Renee Montoya is. Now, she plays a big part in Gotham Central. And it's funny because I did see Birds of Prey. That's out now on VOD for anybody who's interested. And I can't read her character and not hear Rosie Perez's voice now. That nasally fucking Puerto Rican New York City accent. This can't. Like, you fucked this story up for me, Rosie Perez. But it's another cool story if you can find it somehow. It's been collected in trade paperbacks. There's been like 4 of those fucking volumes so far. It's probably even more than that at this point. But cool story so far. And then finally, I've been sitting on this book for quite some time. I've been sitting on a lot of books for quite some time. But one in particular was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Now, this is not a novel because it never made it into a novel. I have the script. It's in a hardback. And I read it not that long ago. I've never seen Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Never seen that. Neither that or the fucking sequel. But I did, over this time, read the script. So I do have some thoughts about it. Now, if you've seen this movie, and I'm sure some of you have, Actually, when I read the book, when I finished it anyways, I went back and saw the trailer for it. I didn't see the movie because you can't find it right now. At least not, it's not readily available. And so if you saw the movie, I thought that the characters of Newt and Jacob were flipped. Because in my mind, I thought Newt looked more like Jacob, like this stuffy kind of Brit motherfucker and shit that just so happens to have all this magical briefcase with all these goddamn monsters in that shit, right? And I thought the character, the guy that played Newt, looked more like Jacob in my mind. This red-blooded American that just so happens to like pastries and knows how to do all that shit. All the other characters, like the love interest, they're kind of vague. See, like J.K. Rowling, she was good at action and setting up this universe, but not really good with describing the characters too much. So that they're always kind of vague. And Graves, I couldn't. The character of Graves, the main bad guy in this, I didn't. I couldn't form a vision of him in my mind as well. But then I saw the trailer. It's like it was Colin Farrell. It's like that makes sense. Because he can play a good, smarmy fucking villain. And he was the best part to me of fucking Daredevil, the original Daredevil, and he was really, really good in Fright Night, that remake with what's your boy, the late Anton Yelchin, I think his name is, the guy that played young Chekhov, Pavel Andreevich in Star Trek, all the the reboot of that. I did like that movie quite a bit. So, other than that, everything else that I thought happened in my head happened in this trailer. So I was like, all right, the story I thought was okay. I can see why that really didn't catch on the same way that the Harry Potter books did. Because it's like, well, if it's not really Harry Potter, it doesn't really make sense, you know. But it was alright for what it is. And like I said, I probably won't see this movie and probably won't see part two. I know they're making part three, and if you like those that series of movies, good on you. But I just thought the story was just okay. You know. So that's that. That's my book report for right now. Like I said, I got a fucking stack of shit to still have to go through. But again, I feel like I've been prepared for all this. You know, like, oh, how are you doing right now? I've been, I've heard from some people. It's funny, like I've been on fucking Facebook. I've been on Facebook more now than I have, and I think the whole time I've had Facebook, because I think it's really, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not very personal, right? It seems very distanced. I guess for lack of a better word for right now, very impersonal. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. But for right now, this is the only way for a lot of us to talk to each other because we can't beat on each other right now. So it's funny that I've heard from people that I haven't heard from in like a while. People getting on me on Facebook about certain things. So it's been very weird to be on Facebook. It's about the only time I think, yeah, this shit makes sense. All this fucking social media shit makes sense. Otherwise, any other day, I'd be like, well, if you really want to talk to me, you could just come talk to me. But unfortunately, you can't do that right now. So it is what it is. Saw some shit. Saw some shit. This whole time, a couple of revisits, spurned because of a conversation that me and Brother C had not that long ago. And I'd like to think that we talked about this on the show, but if we haven't, then Brother C, forgive me for bringing this up. But Brother C has a young daughter who might just be into horror flicks at this point. So we've been sitting here for the last couple months now, it seems, and trying to rack our brains about what movies could he show her to, is like the gateway into this crazy genre. Unlike me, for example, who got thrown headfirst into the shallow end of horror and sci-fi when I was 5 years old. Can't always do that. So we were sitting there talking about it, and then it hit me. I was like, how about you show her the original Poltergeist? Not that goofy ass remake they did in 2015. I'm talking about the original 82 Toby Hooper fucking horror classic. And he was like, you know what? You might be right about that one. See, in my mind, I don't think that movie is that bad. I don't think that movie is going to freak her out too much. Because you got to remember, when I saw that movie, I was 7. So it kind of hit me at the perfect time. She's slightly older than that, and it's from '82. Those special effects, so a lot of them, don't really hold up. I actually, after I had this conversation with Brother C, I actually went back and watched that movie. And as I'm sitting there watching this, I'm like, I can see the flaws in this now. And it's still not a great movie. But now that I'm older, now I'm 44, and I've seen so much other shit in horror that I can see some of the flaws in it now. And some of those special effects do not hold up. They just don't. Some of them are still very impressive for now, for today's standards. But some of them are just like, oh man, that's kind of lame now. I think that was the first time I wasn't freaked out by that movie. But yeah, I was like, yeah, you want you to show her that. And matter of fact, I actually have a copy of it. I have like 2 copies of it. I have a physical copy, and then I have it on my hard drive, like a Blu-ray version on my hard drive. So I was just like, all right, I just give her this version of it, and I do want her to see it and tell me what she thought of it. I also think it's on Netflix. At least last time I checked, it was on Netflix. They might have took that off, but yeah, I think she should have watched that. Then the other thing I saw the next day was another revisit, another ghost story, The Conjuring, the first one, where they still modern day horror classic, if we're being honest, man. I did like that movie quite a bit. And it still holds up. I think it's different from Poltergeist. And the fact that, okay, there's some crazy shit that happens. But for a lot of it, it's the things you don't see. It's the things that it kind of just hints at that kind of make it more creepier. I can't believe they made a whole goddamn universe off this one goddamn movie, though, I tell you that. And for some reason, like, I've only seen 2 of the Conjuring universe movies. I saw the first Conjuring and The Curse of La Llorona, because I didn't see the Annabelle movies. And for some reason, The Conjuring 2 just kind of slipped past me. I don't even know why I didn't see it. Not because I didn't want to see it. I just never saw it. And it's not a movie that's readily available, again, on Netflix. So I just never got around to seeing it for some strange reason. Like, if The Conjuring 2 is in front of me right now, I'd fucking sit here and watch this shit. But, like I said, for some reason, never seen part 2. And I think they are doing part 3, and I still believe that they should just do the Amityville story from their perspective, from the Warrens' perspective. I know it's a story that's been done so many times, and even the original Amityville horror is not really considered that much of a horror classic. It's just the story that kind of surrounds that shit. But it's never been like, oh my god, like that's how fucking they put it up there with like a lot of other shit. And that remake was garbage as well. The one with Ryan Reynolds, not good, not a good one. But I did see that, and I still think it certainly holds up. It's only 7 years old, but I still think it's a horror classic at this point. Oh man, what the fuck else, y'alls? Okay, so let's if Brother C was here, tell him to glaze his eyes over just a second. Now, last time I talked to you guys, I said that they were still doing WrestleMania. WWE is still trying to do WrestleMania in the middle of all this shit. Well, I can tell you that WrestleMania 36 is in the can now. How do you ask? Because they taped WrestleMania this year. I wanted to sink in. They taped WrestleMania this year. So it's already done. And it could be potentially spoiled. Which I don't give a fuck. You can spoil the shit out of that fucking WrestleMania because I'm not fucking watching it. I'm not paying $10. Again, I'm not paying $10 for a WrestleMania where nobody's there. Over 2 nights, and it's taped. Now, the reason why they taped it is because, as I told you guys before, they're doing all their shows, including WrestleMania, in the Performance Center in Orlando. Back on Thursday, actually, yeah, I think it was Thursday, that's when the lockdown happened for Orlando. It took in effect. It was in effect by 11 o'clock that night. So they're on the clock. Had to try to tape as much of this bullshit as they could. So they taped it over 2 nights, that Wednesday and then that Thursday. So by the time, as we speak, it's over. They've already taped this bullshit. Okay? I cannot, there's no way. I am protesting this show. When everyone else around them was like, why don't you just postpone this till June? Postpone it till June, do it at Madison Square Garden, and yes, it's not 70,000 people in Tampa. It's not 100,000 people in Dallas. It's 20,000 people in Madison Square Garden. But it's still better than doing it in front of nobody. The other thing is that I don't know if some of you guys know who Roman Reigns is. Roman Reigns is, if you don't, he looks like Aquaman. He looks like Jason Momoa. He really does. Just with like more wet, stringier hair for some goddamn reason. Like this dude has more wet hair than Aquaman himself for some strange reason, right? But he is one of WWE's biggest stars, or at least that's what WWE wants you to believe. Although the fans just hate this guy, they hate him. They boo this guy mercilessly because everybody's like, he's just getting shoved down everybody's throat, pretty much, right? This dude, this time last year, fought leukemia and won in enough time that he made it to that year's WrestleMania. And this nigga still got booed, right? So, of course, with all this shit going on with COVID-19, because, even WWE superstars aren't fucking immune to this shit, what happened? Some of these people, some of these superstars, caught the fucking virus, including poor Rey Mysterio, who they'd sent home because he caught this fucking bullshit. Not because Roman Reigns has leukemia. He was supposed to be in one of the big title matches at this year's WrestleMania. He was a guy that was supposed to go up against Old Man Goldberg for the Universal Championship, right? So what did Roman Reigns do when he found out that some of these people had this shit? He went home. He's like, fuck y'all. I'm not fucking gonna risk my fucking health when I have a pre-existing condition for a bullshit main event match that nobody's gonna fucking see anyways and nobody cares about. So guess what? I'm going home to protect myself and protect my family. And you know what? Salute to him. My hat's off to Roman Reigns for doing so. And at this point, I don't ever want to hear nobody boo this dude again. If you're a Roman Reigns hater, fuck you. This guy did the right thing. He took himself out, took himself away from a WrestleMania payday, whatever that was going to be, just to keep himself safe and everybody else around him safe. He's a real MVP of WrestleMania this year, not everybody else. And I don't blame him. I feel bad for all these guys and gals that have to go out there and perform in front of nobody. That's bullshit. I wouldn't. If there's no crowd, there's no mania. The fuck are y'all doing? When everything else around us has been canceled or postponed. Shit, they just postponed Wonder Woman. That shit was supposed to come out in June. Ain't coming out to August now. They canceled fucking comic book day on me, folks. Comic book day, free comic book day. Like the first time in 3 years, I'm gonna go to fucking free comic book day, and that's canceled. But no, Vince is like, fuck that. We're still gonna do WrestleMania. Everything else closed. We don't close. There's no off days in WWE when there should be. It should be a fucking off day. And I've heard the argument is that, well, because they don't have an off day, if you give your guys and gals this much time to go home and be with their family when all this is over, some of these cats are going to be like, you know what? Kind of like not being on the road every goddamn night. I kind of like being at home with my family, being around my kids a lot more than I get to. So I don't know if I want to go back. And that's understandable as well. But still, I'm like, Vince, everybody around me, everybody around you, I shouldn't say me, but everybody around you doesn't want this to happen. There's people in his own fucking company that does not want this to happen. And he's just an stubborn old man. It is what it is, man, but they're not getting $10 from me. I already told y'all that. It'll be the first time in 10 years I don't watch WrestleMania. Now, there are two good things that came out of this shit, though. The first is that they decided to put parts of the WWE network for free for everyone. So if you, I don't think, you just need to sign up. I don't think you got to give their credit card information. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on it. But certain parts of the WWE Network right now is free. So if you like, you can go on and watch what WrestleMania usually looks like. It's bullshit. So that's cool. The other thing I think is cool, and Lord help me, because I do want this shirt. I don't buy a lot of shit from WWE. I don't buy a lot of their merch, especially these shirts, because I just think their shirts suck a lot of times. They just do. It's been a rare day I like a shirt that came out of WWE. But there's one shirt in particular that I do want. So they have this shirt with the WrestleMania logo for this year. This pirate bullshit, right? And on the front of this shirt, it says, I wasn't there. And you know what? That pretty much sums up the first half of 2020. I wasn't there. I also think it's funny because it's such a slap in the face to fans, isn't it? It's like, think about if this was the 1 year, the first year, you saved all this money. You've been saving for like almost a year to go to get a ticket, your plane ticket, hotel, spending money, all the other shit that surrounds WrestleMania that weekend, and now you can't go. And now you get this, and all you get is this shirt that says I wasn't there. That's some bullshit, WWE. You got some balls fucking selling people that shirt. I want that shirt though, because I think it's just hilarious to me. God damn it. Oh yeah, I just hear about it that Monday the 6th. Everybody else can tell me about WrestleMania and give me their review because I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Fuck y'all. There's a rare time I'll tell WWE go fuck themselves. But go fuck yourselves on this one. So that's that. One last thing before I tell you this story. And I did watch one last thing. Now, I'm not going to get too much into it because I need Brother C to see this before we talk about this. But yesterday, I sat here and watched in its entirety, the whole thing, Tiger King on Netflix. Oh, man. Like I said, I could do a whole hour while I just sit here and dissect this. Now, I'm not going to do that until Brother C sees this because he needs to see this. I demand that he sees this now, the whole thing. It ain't like he ain't got anything else better to do. Like, he needs to watch this shit. I kept hearing about it for like days. Like, Tiger King. You should watch Tiger King. It's the craziest fucking thing in the world. This fucking documentary is fucking nuts. So finally, like I said, at 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, I sat on the same couch that I'm on right now and watched this fucking documentary. And after the first one, I was like, let's keep going. And then that episode was over. Let's keep going. And so on and so on and so forth. By the time I looked at my phone, man, it was 8 o'clock at night. That's how crazy this story is. So, like I said, now, just to give you a brief synopsis of this, you got this guy named Joe Exotic, who is a gun-toting, mullet-sporting, gay redneck owner of a fucking zoo, a private zoo in Oklahoma. And on the other side, somewhere in Florida, you got this lady named Carol Baskin, who, in the beginning of this, you would think like, oh, she's just trying to do the right thing, trying to stop people like Joe from having these goddamn tigers and all these fucking exotic animals, till you find out, well, she's kind of doing the same fucking thing. And it's really about the rivalry between the two of them. In the middle of all this, there's all these other characters who I won't get into, because again, spoiling this, it would be a crime if I spoiled this fucking documentary for y'all, man. No, absolutely not. Is this year's Making a Murderer? Is this year's Abducted in Plain Sight? Is this year's Surviving R. Kelly, Leaving Neverland? Is that good? Is that kind of story where, especially with something like Surviving R. Kelly, where I knew certain things about that story, but even at the end of it, I was like, God damn. I went into that Tiger King cold. Because I'd heard the name Joe Exotic before, but didn't really know what he did or who he was about. So I went to this cold and I was like, what the fuck is this? What kind of story is this? And so I can't wait for Brother C to see this. And we will get back to this at some point. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that. We will get back to that at some point. But yes, If you have not seen this yet, and you have Netflix, and it ain't like y'all ain't got time, unless you're an essential, I guess. If you're an essential, then I understand. But if you're a non-essential, there's no fucking excuse. You ain't got shit else to do. So sit your ass on the goddamn couch or lay your ass in the bed and watch Tiger King. It ain't gonna take you that long. You can watch it in half a day. It's a 7-hour fucking documentary. Split up into 7 parts. It is awesome. It might be one of the best things I've seen so far this year. So far. We still got a long ways to go, and I don't know what's gonna be going down the pike, but it's dope. It's dope. So, before I go, I did promise you guys a story. It's story time now. Now, I don't tell you this story because it's some holy Moses woe is me shit. That's not what it's about. It's just more of a cautionary tale that I'm about to tell you. Okay? It might be the most personal story that I tell you. There's very few people who know this story outside of Brother C, DK, and Running Gag Time, and my therapist, and Talking Joe. Those are the only people who know this story. That I'm about to tell you right now. Okay? I call it a tattoo story, so here we go. A couple years ago, I left the job that I was at for 11 years for a job that was going to be a better opportunity for me and, more importantly, put a little bit more money in my pocket. So I left, took this job. At the same time that all that was going on, I was with this girl for about 3 years. And everything was going good at that point. Everything was great. Didn't really have too many cares in the world. I was content with where I was. Like the job that I was with, like the people that I was with. Me and my girl was, getting along for the most part. Sometimes we would get into arguments, but and every relationship was perfect. It took 48 hours, a mere 48 hours, for everything to go completely haywire. Because 2 months into this job, I'll never forget it, because I was at my girlfriend's house laying on her bed with her, and we were watching Super Troopers, because she had never seen it. And I get a phone call. And it's my boss. And my boss is like, we gotta let you go. I got let go that day, and I took it hard, folks. Took it really, really hard. 2 days after that happened, the girl that I was with, she split. She decided to walk on me. I was devastated, people. I can't tell you how dark things got. I mean, after that, I started drinking heavily, way more heavily than I do these days. I was, doing a lot of bad things out here, just very, very depressed. When I sit here and tell you guys that picture that's on this fucking screen, that you see on your screen right now, that's how that felt. That's how that time felt. The world stopped for me at that point. So when you look out that window, that's what it looked like 3 years ago. Even though everybody else was going about their business, is living their lives, mine stopped. Things got so dark for me that eventually I tried to kill myself. I sat on the couch, just like I am right now. I had a bottle in one hand, I had a razor blade in the other hand. And in my heart, at that time, I knew and felt, this is it. I don't want to do this shit anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. If it wasn't for some of those people that I just named, including DK and Brother C, especially those two, I wouldn't be here to tell you this fucking story today. Just wouldn't be, because I'd be dead. I'd be gone if it wasn't for them. And through them, I knew that I could not do this by myself. I needed help even more than what they could give me, because they couldn't they couldn't help me. They couldn't pull me out of this abyss by themselves. So eventually, I went back to therapy, I should say, where I've been ever since. And through rehab, I did a stint in rehab. I was in rehab for 5 months, and I completed rehab. Got sober at that point and completed rehab, and try to get my shit back together, try to get my life back together. Now things since then haven't really worked out the same way, but they're at least not as bad as this, or at least as bad as that was back then. By the time almost by the time I finished rehab, I went and got a tattoo done. Now you can't see this tattoo, and unless you know me personally, but I have a tattoo on my right hand by my wrist that looks like I slit my wrist open, and it has the word fight, dripping down in blood. I look at that every day as a constant reminder that no matter how bad things get, you still have to get up in the morning and function, even if you have to drag your ass to do that shit. You heard me last week. I was not in a good place last week. Thank God that because of all of this, and I had time to actually reflect and had time to think and rest, that things are a little bit better than they were a week ago. I look at this every day and it's like, it's it can't get that bad again. And that's why I tell you this story right now. I know a lot of you guys out there are just scared and you're upset and some of you are depressed. Mental illness right now in the middle of all this is never fucking fun. That isolation, that loneliness. And so I know for a lot of you right now, it's a really fucking scary time, man. That's okay. But you have to remember one thing. It's only temporary. This isn't permanent. Like we'll dig ourselves out of this shit. Like some of y'all been through worse shit. I've been through worse shit than this right now. All of us are gonna smell like smoke because we've been through fire. Because we walked through those fucking flames. Now, once you get out the other side of that, you won't be the same. This world won't be the same. But at least you can walk away saying, hey, listen, I fucking survived that shit. I'm fine. You'll be fine. I promise you that. You'll be fine if you give yourself a chance and you just remember that none of this is fucking permanent. Those gates will open up eventually. I don't know if it's going to open up by fucking Easter. I don't know about that, Trump. I mean, I like to have wishful thinking, but I don't know. But those gates will have to open up at some point. When he sits there and says, yeah, we want this by Easter, and everybody else around us like, I don't know if this is a good idea. Wrapped inside that lie is the truth. And the truth is that, yeah, eventually, we're all going to have to get back to it. We're all going to have to take a risk. That's life. That's fucking life. You're going to have to fucking take a chance and take a fucking risk. So at some point, we all got to go back outside. It will happen eventually. Maybe not the world that you remember, but you will get back to it eventually. So, that's the tattoo story, folks. Like I said, didn't tell it to be like Holy Moses, woe is me. I just hope that helped someone. I hope to help to try to get through it the same way a lot of people helped me try to get through that time. Yeah, but here I am still, after all this time. So let's get the hell out of here. How about some box office numbers? These are the top 10 highest grossing movies of this last weekend, according to showblow.com. The number one movie in the country? Nothing! The fucking theaters are closed. Ain't shit going on. It ain't shit going to be going on for quite some time. You won't be hearing box office numbers till at least June. It's one thing I ain't got to do now. Sit here and keep track of that shit. But that's it for me. Wow, almost went an hour. Ain't that a bitch? Trying to do like a half hour and it ended up doing almost 50 minutes. So I guess I had a lot of shit to get off my chest. Again, hope you guys are doing great, or as good as you can. Hope you and yours are healthy. Stay the fuck in the fucking house if you can. And I'll talk to you guys soon. I've been Alan One. This has been another edition of the Antisocial Experiment. I'll see you soon. Stay safe and good luck.